One Zambia, one nation. Thank you so much for joining us for Zanis News with me, Sarah Miti. Top stories in the news. President Hichilema receives letters of credence. Cholera preventive measures intensify in Luangwa. More farmers access SAF loans in Lukulu. Plus, soccer administrator predicts a tough encounter for Chipolopolo. The news in detail. President Hakainde Hichilema says his administration remains focused on deepening partnerships with other countries to foster economic diplomacy. Speaking at State House in Lusaka when he received letters of credence from 8 country representatives, President Hichilema says through economic diplomacy, Zambia is able to realize its economic transformative agenda. President Hichilema has explained that enhanced partnerships with other countries will see more trade and investment beneficial to various sectors of the economy. Bupe Swende has details in this report.
One after the other, they present letters of credence to President Hakainde Hichilema as an affirmation of their commitment to enhance bilateral relations between Zambia and their countries. Today, President Hichilema received credentials from ambassadors and high commissioners of 8 countries, with emphasis on improved economic cooperation for social development.
We want to be clear with yourselves from the outset that our intent as a government, UPND government, Zambian government, is having dealt with these issues, we want to work with you in the space of economic diplomacy, in investment, trade, supply chains that you talked about. Your beautiful countries, the endowments that you have, plus ours, 8 plus 1, 9. We would like your stay here, your work here, to focus on improving, increasing our economic cooperation.
The head of state also emphasized the importance of maintaining a peaceful environment as a prerequisite for the global community to attain its aspirations.
We share a global community that is afflicted by conflict. And we share with you the obvious issues of governance, democracy, issues of respect for human rights, but more importantly, because we cannot have these without peace, security, and stability. So you can count on us as worthy partners to work with you, Your Excellencies, your government and peoples, to foster peace, security, stability in our global community. Because we know where there's instability anywhere, it does affect all of us.
And the diplomats stand ready to build on the bilateral relations for mutual benefits.
I'm also looking forward to activating MOUs and agreements that will benefit our 2 beautiful countries.
I remain confident and I believe in your determination to move forward in the interest of our respective peoples to further explore the opportunities, facilities, and experiences to share.
We commend your efforts dedicated to economic reform, and I'm particularly committed to helping the Belgian business community tap into the vast economic potential that Zambia offers.
Thus, I do believe strengthened relations between Zambia and Korea will continue to be mutually beneficial.
Burundi, the Republic of Korea, Oman, Belgium, Jamaica, Cyprus, Slovakia, and the Republic of Georgia are among the countries that envoys presented credentials to the Zambian head of state in Lusaka. Bupe Sendo for Zanis News in Lusaka.
Government has signed various memoranda of understanding, MOUs, for coordinated border management, CBM, in a bid to promote trade facilitation. The Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry facilitated the signing of the MOUs between government ministries and agencies. Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry Chipoka Mlenga says the MOUs are intended to delegate functions between border agencies that will operate inland and those that will remain at the borders under the proposed CBM framework. We have details in this report.
Various memoranda of understanding have been signed between government ministries and agencies for coordinated border management (CBM), a move intended to enhance trade facilitation at Kazungula and Chirundu one-stop border posts. The MOUs were signed this morning in Lusaka at the government complex. Director for Foreign Trade in the Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry gives background.
You may recall that this instruction came early last year through the National Steering Committee on Trade Facilitation, where we were instructed to operationalize the CBM model. And PS Commerce, you recall that it was through Commerce that you convened and also constituted a technical working group on coordinated border management, which has been working since to try and navigate through on how best we can implement the coordinated border management initiative.
Meanwhile, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Commerce, Trade and Industry outlines this policy decision.
These MOUs are intended to delegate functions between border agencies that will operate inland to those that will remain at the borders under the proposed coordinated border management framework to be piloted at Kazungula and Chirundu one-stop border posts starting 31st January 2024. These 6 agencies include the Zambia Revenue Authority, Immigration Department, Zambia Compulsory Standards Agency, Port Health, Department of Plant, Quarantine and Sanitary Services, and the National Livestock Epidemiology Information Center. The policy decision to have only 6 agencies to operate at the border does not usurp the mandates for those living. Therefore, the delegation of functions is limited to those mandates that can only be undertaken physically at the border, and all other mandates related to enforcement that can be done inland will remain with respective agencies as provided for in their respective acts of parliament. At the core of this initiative is the need to promote trade facilitation, which result in improved trade and better welfare gains for both traders and consumers. Therefore, the demand for smooth coordination of the work of different regulatory agencies at the border is critically important.
Shilika Chabalengula, Zanis, in Lusaka.
And Solwezi District Health Director Bumba Bubala has advised churches in the area to reduce on activities that may promote the spread of cholera, like hugging and handshakes, in order to stop the spread of cholera. Dr. Bubala says churches, being the largest places of gathering, should take a lead in promoting good health. We have details in this report by Chai Bunkoma.
The church has not been spared from the scourge of cholera, as some of its members have as well suffered from the disease. This person lying here is a member of a named church and explains how he allegedly started vomiting and purging after taking some food at church.
Munda byo bya twaire ku chechi so byakuja byo twajire ku chechi byakutaka byajinga mwana ebyo ngatwa wa mawamatu banzoro musaru mwana nenshi yo twajire ko ku chechi so after tukuja twamvini munda kwa
I developed a stomach ache immediately after I ate food from church. I ate nshima and chicken with some vegetables, and immediately after I developed diarrhea. When I rushed to the clinic, it was confirmed that it was cholera. Then I was referred to urban clinic.
The Department of Health in the district is not sitting idle, but has continued sensitizing churches on the importance of observing high standards of hygiene.
We should reduce on hugging in church, but we should also reduce on greeting. And if we are going to receive the blood and body of Christ in church, it must be done in a manner that ensures that sanitation is upheld to the utmost.
Meanwhile, Dr. Bubala has reminded the clergymen and women to adhere to government directive that churches should not gather more than than 2 hours.
Knowing that the government has put out a statement that church should not gather for more than 2 hours. There should be enough sanitation measures.
Father Noel Haninga of the Catholic Diocese of Solwezi shares what the church is doing in the fight against cholera.
We are not taking it lightly. We are putting up a lot of measures as a church. Number one, when it comes to our gatherings at our churches, we are strictly adhering to the guidance that government has given of not more than 2 hours, providing basins where people can wash their hands.
Reporting for Zanis News, I am Chaibu Nkoma in Solwezi District, Northwestern Province.
Thank you, Chaibu, for that report. And still on cholera, the cholera preventive campaign has heightened in Luangwa district with public places such as markets and bus stations being targeted. We have more in the following report.
The influx of people visiting Luangwa district for fish trade and other fishing activities has put the district at high risk of spreading cholera. Luangwa District Commissioner Luke Chikan and other local leaders have launched the cholera vaccination campaign. The team is also sensitizing communities on the importance of the cholera vaccinations.
Yamene intenda ili pachani pa fiko mata. Fiko mata ni va mchimbuzi. Sosati kunkhala msanga kuti ufuna kuti ulete kuchimbuzi woluta msanga. Ufunika kuti waya mchani mu toilet.
6 months tilanwa ineso. 6 months.
Venango twafuna kuenda mu toilet baenda tape panja. Ndiye kuti ayinze akatoka pala kutankhala pa vakulya kolera ingaitole. Please, kolera ni maliro yokutisa kwambiri. Ni maliro yalibe body viewing. Na tonse pano amene mutionera pano tiyo pa kolera.
Chief Mpuka thanked government for the intervention measures to control the disease.
It's a very much good idea. I think people who were to die because of cholera will be saved.
Both Zaro Ward Councillor and Zaro Market Chairperson emphasized on the need for people to adhere to the cholera preventive measures.
Nkamba kamwa mwambwa ini kuli nkamba kamwa zokamba kamba ikatemera ichoka kwa America sote funa tuona ngani wenye tieni titenge ikatemera so that tinkale prevented die
so ponkana corona free tien tutengeko ikatemera. Government yatu ni otukonda maningi sifuna kuti tubalire ife makamaka ife wamene tugulisa mu musika.
Lista Ndumba, Luangwa District.
The Zambia Red Cross Society Chirundu branch president Godwin Munsanje says his organization has intensified community sensitization aimed at preventing the outbreak of cholera and other waterborne diseases in the district. Mr. Munsanje says the society has identified community sensitization and promotion of preventive health messages so that communities are reminded on the benefits of living in a clean environment. He has since called for radical behavior change among communities if the interventions that government has put in place to combat waterborne diseases are to yield positive results.
Promoting preventive health messages, and we are appealing to members of the public continuously to engage in positive behaviors that promote good hygiene. We are promoting use of hand hygiene, good hand hygiene practices, and promoting all business premises to have hand washing facilities at their entry points. So far, we've had one radio program, and we still have a number of series this week and the coming week to ensure that our public gets the full information which they much need in this time of cholera. Suffice to say, Chirundu does not have any case so far, but we know that we cannot relax even in that case, because we have to ensure that we put in all preventive measures so that in case we have a case, our people should be found ready equipped with the right information which will be be helpful to them in terms of avoiding spreading the disease.
At least 20 boreholes have been drilled, with an additional of 30 having been rehabilitated in Choma district. This is under the National Scaling Up Hygiene and Sanitation Program being supported by the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF. Choma District Water and Sanitation Coordinator Joshua Tuba says over 12,500 people now have access to clean drinking water.
Access to clean water for all Zambians is one of the major developmental goals that the country aims to attain by 2030. It is for this reason that government, working with other cooperating partners, has rolled out different interventions to ensure that this goal is achieved. In Choma, 20 new boreholes have been drilled, with an additional 30 rehabilitated under the National Scaling Up Hygiene and Sanitation Program, supported by UNICEF.
Major target that we have as a nation is that by 2030 we should be able to be at 100% in terms of water supply coverage. So in terms of drilling, we are able to drill about 20 boreholes. That is what we are located under this project. With this intervention, we're talking of about 5,000 people having access to clean and safe water. And on top of that, we've been able to rehabilitate about 30 broken down hand pumps. Now with those hand pumps, 7,500 people that have regained access to clean and safe water. With these interventions, we're actually very, very confident to say that indeed, come 2030, we should be able to be somewhere.
The National Scaling Up and Hygiene Program has improved hygiene and sanitation in Macha Chiefdom and has also reduced diarrhea cases.
So in total, as a Macha catchment area, we used to record weekly 120 cases of diarrhea. So this time around we are recording maybe just 15 cases of diarrhea. If there are more, it's 20 cases.
In Skalongo Ward, beneficiaries of the SAN 2 program have also adopted hygiene practices for management of their kitchen utensils and toilets.
So waligonga muntu ayanda kuya ku toilet kuzuza kuya musogo eno kwinda muliyo ndubali kutwisi abasani tu binamwe ba facilitator ba oderia jino yino bantu baleza tulisompogidi so mebolu wangu kuko tumundaga jana a family yangu makuti kuba toilet kubotu kuba agasanza kubotu ajidindi ja kuswera madoti
Wakumelo Stali, Zanis, in Choma District, Southern Province.
Thank you, Wakumelo. We take a break. Join us shortly for business news. Stay tuned.
Hena korera ninzi, korera mburwazi ibwa kusomona. Imuntu ujiswa mburwazi ibwa korera, ulasomona kuluka kapati. Itubi tulahamenda manji. Imurwazi ulangwanyota kapati, agambwa kumana kwa menda mubiri. Imurwazi iwakorera wenga wahwa mumawola alo ali 12 gombo kutita jana busirisi buli gaboto hena munzira iri buti muntu bwagwa yakujana burwazi bwakorera igunywa menda alo atabikidwe musamu ja tuzunda na menda aje sitombe igurya jagurya jalo igubere hamanza atasahigwa igaboto na igubere hamitiba na himwi alo atasahigwa amimusamu na mwamenda ajisi imusamu walo ja tuzunda igurya jagurya jitawonigidwe jalo jakarwa nzinini igurya jagurya jitontola jalo jalegegwa na jajilo jalo jenero tijayo burwaga boto igurya jagurya jamumazira igurya imijelo na jihumani jalo jatasahigwa gaboto hena munzira iri buti muntu mbwagwa yahugwa bira burwazi bwakorera igubona masimpe guti wabagwananganya gaboto menda agunywa igwinda mugubona masimpe guti ajigwa na igubiko musamu wa chlorine amusambe mumanze nugubere hansipa na menda abigwe musamu ja tuzunda mwamana gubere hajimbuzi amujisibige nango jigasaha ija kurya gamutana agujirya amuhunige ija kurya jindi yonse igutegwa guti gitakarwe nzinini mutari ija kurya jagura mu mazira amuberehe ijimbuzi chindi chonse amulitantamune mukubereha igumbuli na tupepa lwa plastic mukusowa thupi ambone masimpe kuti thupi twasogwa naye kupikhwamo jimbuzi ambone masimpe kuti jimbuzi chindi chonse kachisalala na kachihunikidwe oyi mulumbe waletwa kuli ndunye abamuthabulanga nyansepa mujisi.
Welcome back. The Sustainable Agriculture Financing Facility has been well received in Lukulu District as farmers have now started receiving their codes. Lukulu District Agricultural Officer Mondeli Sulo says the Sustainable Agriculture Financing Facility has seen more than 30 farmers having had their applications approved. We have more in the following report by Rita Kabindama.
Lukulu District of Western Province have welcomed the Sustainable Agriculture Financing Facility and Agricultural Loan Scheme, with more than 30 farmers being approved so far. Lukulu District Agriculture Coordinator Mondeli Sulo told Zanis in an interview that the loan scheme is meant to improve food and nutrition security in the district and the country at large.
So SAF came on board to help these farmers. It's a loan, of course, it's a loan scheme where they are given 4 bags tea, 4 bags urea, and seed. For Lukulu, we are getting maize and rice at the moment for this season. So for one to get, if one is cultivating a hectare, they are getting 10,000. This doesn't come in cash to farmers. It comes in form of inputs. So they have to be registered at the DACO's office, tagged. Questions have been coming. What about if, say, there is drought, there is floods, the loan is insured. So whoever applies, that one, the government has already insured the loan.
Mr. Sulo further explained how the scheme will work and urged farmers to utilize it.
So what I would urge others out there is to emulate these that have gotten the loan. It's not easy to start, but I think let us know that once a program comes for the government, it will surely be fulfilled. So let people come on board. The window is still open and it won't close. If they won't benefit now, they can still get next year. So we hope to have increased food, household food, nutrition, security in Lukulu, because a lot of people, more especially civil servants, they have cultivated.
And farmers who have welcomed the financing facility have expressed gratitude to government for the program.
Kerefa baize include massive savings kwa kwa apply kuba ni maloni yakona kulipa kone kulima. Nantakaza kuli lulima ngero no lupalisa abakinsa kwendo pala kufuma nande mashere ngakoli kone kulima lafu kutuna.
We also thank the government for this and ask the government to bring in the irrigation farming so that we can even do the winter maize. As we know that in Kalwa there's the Kabompo.
Kintu yetu nao kimsewezo munde ni haike kuonala kwa program yesa alikuwa hule nyanda kakuli kwanu kwa kurusi na muzi bakulu nani one agro dira ni kana kwa ma inputs a scarf manakale twero ubona kuli kuna ndikutatanya na fike kuna growth mana kushana mama simuke buhola ho ni kinteleka kwa mana kwa kataza.
I have been farming, I think 2021, 2022 I've been supplying at the FRA. And I have managed to go 250 bags, 300 bags. And I'm so happy now that the government has come in a way to boost us.
Rita Kabindama, Zanis, Lukulu District, Western Province.
The Zambia Development Agency, ZDA, says the just-ended World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, has provided valuable insights into global trends to utilize the gained experience into transforming the Zambian economy. Zambia Development Agency Director General Albert Halwampa says the forum has reinforced the private sector's commitment to innovation while exploring new partnerships aimed at expanding market presence and creating mutually beneficial opportunities for Zambians. Kalan Muchima has details in this report.
The just-ended World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, drew participation from over 100 government representatives and about 600 private sector participants. Zambia was represented by the Zambia Development Agency, ZDA, through its Director General, Albert Halwampa, who says the forum provided valuable insights of how to grow the Zambian economy.
all the big companies in the world are in Davos simply shows you that this is a platform we need to continue navigating. You're aware that Zambia is promoting trade and investment in a very huge manner at the moment, and we're attracting a lot of investments into Zambia. So if we are to sustain that momentum, the attraction into Zambia as the best destination in Africa, if not the world, we need to consistently participate in this platform. So we're very excited, a lot of opportunities, networkings, meetings going on, and just to continue positioning Zambia as one of the best destinations. And of course, just complimenting the huge task His Excellency Mr. Hakainde Hichilema has of promoting Zambia as one of the best destinations in terms of trade and investment.
Zambia National Commercial Bank Chief Executive Officer Mukwandi Chiwesakunda hoped that some of the business engagements held will materialize.
Just everybody, that you bump into people and you discover that each person you bump into can actually do something to help not just your organization but your country and your people. And I felt privileged to be representing not just Zanaco but a Zambian out there. And so thank you for having us, Honorable Minister. And looking forward to following through. To your point, we must follow through. We have a number of engagements. And even if just one works for us, this will be a good program.
Finance and National Planning Minister Stimbeko Musokotwane was leading the Zambian delegation at the annual event.
Next year, we will bring in our colleagues from the private sector so that they can also network. They can ride on the back of government to network and showcase what is available in Zambia. So next year, we've already agreed with the ambassador. We will start very early making preparations for private sector participation.
Kalan Muchima reporting for Zanis.
Still in business, stakeholders in Chilenge district of Luapula province are calling on investors to revamp their Chilenge rubber plantation as it is a potential job creator. Here's a report.
They have been hoping that one day this rubber plantation will rise and give them jobs. The women of Chilongo village in Chilenge district where the rubber plantation sits continue to be positive. An investor will one day revamp the company.
Vakateka ndefwayo kuti mutufuntuireko kuno bwika chiraba mwingiremo mwebuteko mutufuntuireko tulevombako tuikale bwino kuno kumpanga mututungirire kaimubwera napani matulepapatanako.
The Chilenge rubber plantation is a song that has been sung forever. The rubber story in Chilenge district is now a tired story.
Kennedy Musonda is a long-time former employee of the company.
Sinofenga chakutila ubuteko bwabika mu resources twakwata na marectarage ndera ndapo kuti abantu nibibangira fana ngo 1000 ku and above because ku factory kuti bayibera panasale bayibera ku many plantation bayibera ku irrigation bayibera because this has to be watered ni lesa to pere infra ino state ni infra ya kwalesa nombre yanga twatwa ku plantation kuli mufuna mo machine bayisaba kutonsa amenshi tulefita pila ko pali ya stage elo tufira fo na fertilizer.
Despite its potential viability, the Chilenge rubber plantation remains a dead project for now.
Latex actually is the raw material for making rubber products. If it is exploited, the same latex, you are able to make a lot of products like rubber bands, condoms, tires, and a lot of other rubber products. We can be exporting latex, which means it will be a plus for us as we start exporting. Apart from that, the creation of employment for the local people will also improve their economic welfare.
There is, however, an assurance by government that the plantation will rise again.
The plan of the government is to revamp the operations of the plantation so that it can empower the local people. And it is there to flourish if somebody invested in it.
These people here are hopeful that an investor will finally emerge to recapitalize and revamp this plantation. For Zanis News, Godfrey Chikumbi, reporting in Nchelenge, Luapula Province.
And that wraps up our business news. We take another break. We have more stories, including sports news, after the break. Stay tuned.
Kolera wapa msongo muka. Kolera wapa msongo wa kuichisa. Mutu alina msongo wa kolera, echikuichisa nga chikuma na kusaza nawa. Bize vipi mwaichisa mutu, na vipoya meya nge msoji wa loso. Mubeji echikuzia nga chikuma mujimba, mumoya kufumisa meya a mujimba. Mubeji nawa na hase kufa mujiwola li 12 hours, ngeka wechi kumuhana vitumbo vya kumuka wa shiko. Unahase nga chili kuachi wa kumsongo wa kolera, kuhichila mkuna meya kuwa na kuhaka vitumbo, nawa aze ali na majilo. Kulia vyakulia na mawoko aze ali na majilo, chipwe kuzachisa malonga na jindeho, ja kukosa na meya majilo akuhona kuhaka vitumbo. Kulia vyakulia vyakuhona kufika vize wana wili kubajiji. Kulia vyakulia vituta vize kawatumbikanga kana wako. Kulia vyakulia vize wana kulandulula mikwakwa. Na kulia na wamihako na makovu ako na kukosa kanawa. Tunahasenga chili kulikinga kumusongo wa kolera. Telekenu mea enu akunwa chipwe kuhaka mo vitumbo vya chlorine. Sanenu kumawoko enu na sopo chipwe na meya kuhaka vitumbo hanyima ya kuzaisa chimbusho. Zumisenu vyakulia vyenu shimbukanda mubilie. Fwikenu havyakulia vyenu vyosena kuchina kubiwila kubajiji. Kanda kulia vyakulia vyakulanda mumikwa kwa nduma. Zachisenu chimbusho lualo sena. Kahakanda kuzachisa ndundu chipwe mapepa andundu hakuya na kulihehwa nduma. Mwatela kumona ngwenu vipi yosena munawitapwila mchimbusho. Chimbusho cha nawa chatela kupwa cha unyoji kahanawa cha kufika lualo sena. Mujimbu uno banamnehela wakuli bakachanda chatala kulikangula cha meno ya watu cha Ministry of Health.
The Chisamba Town Council has procured 4,500 desks using the 2023 Constituency Development Fund CDF to cushion the deficit of desks in the district. Chisamba District Planning Officer Chotangulube has told Zanis that the move was arrived at after the local authority working with the District Education Office assessed the shortage of desks. Take a look at this.
With the introduction of free education in Zambia, schools have faced a surge in the numbers of enrollment across all grades. This has therefore resulted in a burden on school infrastructure, coupled with a shortage of desks. However, government through the Republican president directed all councils not to have any people sit on the floor by the year end 2023. This directive meant all ward development committees and constituent development committees to prioritize procurement of desks as they are reviewing community projects in their respective wards and constituencies. For schools in Chisamba district, it's a desk bonanza for them, as the local authority has procured 4,500 desks to cushion the deficit of desks in the district.
Where we are procuring 4,500 desks to distribute in various schools where there's a deficit. So before we started the procurement, I think we went around the schools and together with DEPS and we collected the deficit in all the schools. So I think we are not going to have any shortage of desks in Chisamba.
Liteta Primary School is one of the beneficiaries of the consignment with 150 desks.
In terms of teacher arena performance, these desks, they have really helped us a lot. As you can see, the room here, we didn't have enough desks as Liteta Primary School. Learners used to sit on the floor. So with the coming of these desks, we are really grateful to the President through CDF for coming to our rescue. Learners were really in trouble, more especially grown-up girl child. They were sitting on the floor. And this had a great impact to our performance. There was too much absenteeism, and not only absenteeism, others were even stopped in school.
The District Education Office is delighted with the move.
That we have now, you can imagine a child sitting on the floor and then touching the ground. There's that exposure. So if they are sitting on the desks, surely the children will be safe from the cholera epidemic. So we're so delighted, sir, that working with the council, this work is being done, and we ensure that we give the support that is due.
And Central Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Godfrey Chikumbi, who visited the Chisamba district, to check on the progress of CDF projects gave an encouragement to the schools.
President Rose emphasized that education is the best equalizer. Yes. And once you have a nation that is educated, then it's prone to development. Hence, this attachment by our head of state to ensure that the desks are given to the schools, and looking at some of the schools' status, also we believe that we may think again, using the CDF fund to ensure that even while we're constructing other schools, then also rehabilitating others.
Daniel Billy, for Zanis News, in Chisamba District, Central Province.
Thank you, Daniel. Now, the local authority in Mambwe District in the Eastern Province has commenced the inspection of schools ahead of the reopening scheduled for 29th of January 2024. Mambwe Council Public Relations Officer Grace Lungo says health inspectors are on the ground to assess the sanitary conditions of schools in the district and ascertain their readiness. Ms. Lungo has told Zanis that the inspections are being conducted in accordance with the provisions of the Public Health Act Cap 295 and the Food Safety Act of 2019 to ensure that all school authorities adhere to health guidelines and suitability for operations. She has explained that the inspection exercise is ongoing, stating that the findings will be submitted to the relevant authorities to guide in decision-making. She has also disclosed that a total of 96 schools have so far been inspected out of the targeted 101. On 4th January 2024, Minister of Education Douglas Siakalima announced that schools were to open on the 29th of January 2024 and not on the 8th of January 2024 as earlier scheduled. Flash floods have partially damaged the Musumba-Nsefu crossing point in Mambwe District in Eastern Province. We have more in the following report.
Floods are not a new thing in Mambwe District, as every rainy season, houses and agriculture fields get to be affected. This time around, not only have the floods displaced families from their houses and forced them to take up shelter in schools, but the water has also partially damaged the 2.1 million kwacha Constituency Development Fund funded Musumba-Nsefu crossing point. The District Disaster Management Committee was on the ground to conduct an assessment in order to establish the extent of the damage.
The bridge has been affected because the center part of the road was not well compacted. The bridge itself is intact, as you can see from that side. The only thing as a layman which I see was the compaction was not done adequately. Otherwise, if you even see the thickness of the concrete, it's not enough to withstand the force of the water.
Mambwe District Commissioner William Banda also encouraged flood victims to consider relocating to uplands instead of continuing to live in flood-prone areas.
Not continue Kungala so year in, year out. Kungala Unkazi so please Chino.
Some flood victims are considering moving in this direction.
Manzi anangenera nyumba inagwa ndinaundumuka wansaidu so hapa nifuna chabeti mvula ikashira hapa nifika nishakileko pawenye mamanja nikamange tena.
Theo Makunda for Zanis in Mambwe District, Eastern Province.
In sports, football administrator Ponga Liwewe says Zambia is in a difficult position to qualify to the round of 16 after recording 2 draws in their Group F games played so far. Liwewe says the easier game that the Chipolopolo had was against Tanzania, stating that Democratic Republic of Congo and Morocco are tougher opponents in the group. Speaking in an interview with Zanis Sports, Liwewe says Zambia is fighting for nothing but a win on Wednesday's game against Morocco to guarantee a spot in the knockout stages. Meanwhile, Liwewe has urged soccer fans to let the coach select players for the starting lineup, as he is the one that spends more time with them during training, adding that the coach is in a position to know what the players are capable of doing. Liwewe has charged that Zambia needs a strong and positive mindset for them to come out with a point, even if they do not win the game, in order for the team to be in a better position. And football fans in Gwembe District have called on the Chipolopolo technical bench to tactically prepare the team for the next final for the next and final group stage game against Morocco, scheduled on 24th of January 2024, for them to qualify to the knockout stage. The soccer fans say the Chipolopolo needs to be more tactical and accurate in creating scoring chances. Jolwe Jinene reports.
Football fans in Gwembe district have called on the Chipolopolo Tekenko bench to tactically prepare the team for the next and final group stage game against Morocco, scheduled on the 24th of January 2024, for them to qualify to the knockout stage. Then on Monday, a Gwembe-based soccer fan told Zanis that the team needs to be more tactical and needs to be more accurate when creating scoring chances.
And buli machenges bakochi ngwa upanga last bahambana wapanga ni wabona uti abama professionals bene sakara bene banda yabashupaja kujita bapanga machenges wapanga. I think they can make a difference.
Looking at the Chipolopolo performance during the AFCON qualifying matches, Albert Dikando, another soccer fan, is not impressed with the preparations made by the team.
In terms of the preparations, the qualifiers and everything, we were drawn against strong sides. We noticed to say we watched the DRC game, and it was a draw. We noted the mistakes. However, we carried those mistakes into our second game, which resulted into another draw. But looking at the current form of Morocco, I think it will be a tricky encounter, of which we need a win to reach the finals.
Football being a game of chance, Mr. Ricardo still believes Zambia has a chance to make it to the knockout stages.
But if we believe, I think we have a chance. We need to summon the goals of 2012, where against all odds we reached the final and won the AFCON.
However, some fans have expressed disappointment to the team's performance and they've called for change of coaches in the Tekenko bench.
To say that the team's performance was very terrible. I haven't watched a very disappointing Zambian match in a while, and these past two games were very shameful because we played with no passion, we played with no cohesion, there was no structure in the team. But those two late substitutions in the second game proved quite vital to the equalizing goal. But for the Morocco clash, I do not expect anything really. I expect us to walk out to the AFCON with 2 points and come back and do a rebuild, and the fact that we need to change coaches is a must.
Jole Hajinene reporting in Gwembe District, Southern Province.
As we end the news, hear the headlines once again. President Hichilema receives letters of credence. Cholera preventive measures intensify in Luangwa. More farmers access SAF loans in Lokolo. Plus, soccer administrator predicts a tough encounter for Chipolopolo. And that is all we had for you on Zanis News. Thank you so much for joining us. On behalf of the entire production team, it is goodbye and God bless. And remember, cholera is real. Protect yourself and protect your family.